Hello guys, welcome back to our tutorial series on .NET 8 guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening everyone around the world. So yeah, yeah. So if you watched my video last night or yesterday, we got a problem on the end part in implementing the unit of work generic repository. Yeah. So we have to continue it today. So come with me and we will implement it. So what we have a problem last night is now in the generic repository, right? So this is the implementation of the generic repository. So this is wrong. Yeah, we should not do it here because this is already generic. So we will not uh, use this again because it's already in this is correct in the generic repository. What I mean is in the individual repository, we just inherit this generic and everything here will be available. So what we have problem is in for example, what our example last night is order repository, this one. Yeah, order repository. This is incorrect. We should avoid this because we are going to use the generic. That's the purpose. We are not reusing. We are using the code. We are not repeating the code. All right. So instead, this is class implementation. This is the implementation of order repository. We inherit the generic repository instead of the other one. So generic repository, and we pass the entity because this is generic. This is order, so it was the order property or order entity. And order entity, why we cannot see the order entity here? We can get it in. Uh, what happened? We have order entity. Why it's become customer again? This should be order. Why is this two customer already? So this one, I think it's in the renaming that we shortcut. This should be order. You are renaming, perform a rename. Yes. So that would be order. And this is the customer. Okay. So we're having problem because of renaming. So this is order repository order. And then we are also to inherit the order repository. So what is the interface? I mean, what is the interface? Interface order. What is the interface here for the order? I repository order. So I repository order. So because this I repository order might have a specific function or signature that is not part of the generic repository. Yeah. So there is no argument give the corresponding required parameters DB context. Okay, this is the error, so we just have to pass that DB context in our constructor. So we have to setor here, setor guys, and then our DB context is DB. This just name it as context. And then we have to pass this in the base context. The base context is the DB context that is being used by the entity framework or and that is the one who will communicate or bridge or to connect to to our database. Okay, so that's only the code. There's no code here, guys. That's only, and that is the purpose why we are using generic. So if you watch in the previous video, we have implementation here, right? But because we are using generic repository, everything that is available in this generic repository will also be available in this order repository. Now, if you have a specific signature in the order repository, you add the signature in the high repository order. It's here. It's as I said, like for example, you have who with here. Just example, since this is order count, everything like that. Order data, like that. If you have a signature of it like that, your order repository will have an implementation now. It's specific to that. Okay. So we go to our order repository. So yeah, so you can see it has a red light because we added a one signature inside that repository. So you just have to implement that one. And this one is only specific for the order repository and it's not available in other repository. But this one, the order repository, have all the method or signature of the generic repository, just like this one. Add, delete, that is already inherited. Everything is there. And you can see we are not writing that code. So that is the purpose of reducing or reusing code, right? So that is now, guys. So now let us see if this work in our web API. So we already inserted or we already added the services to our program.cs, which is the main entry of our .NET 8 application. So the builders, we added already the services to the container. So we only add unit of work because we'll be using our unit of work, not individual repository now. So that is the advantage, right? So if we go to our actually guys, this is the video that I have created before. If you can see here, .NET 6, so .NET 6, and that is
and then
thing,
uh,
what I am just discussing. Yeah, that is .NET 6. That was also that.
you need
So this is existing already. The database is already existing. So
you
we
need
have
to
to issue a
find
scaffold here.
the
Yeah, just
join
have to
this
issue a scaffold
ID2.
because the database is already existing
So we
for
have
reverse
here, so
engineering.
you see here the post that we are
Okay, if
just
you want to
car
learn
ID,
.NET 6,
container, it
just go
number,
here.
and then simply
And
when
it's
we add that, it will go to
1,700
this
views
generic
already.
story
There are lots of
as in the
comments.
car entity,
They,
and then like
they
that.
gain knowledge in that. Okay.
Then we bring the new
But now we are trying to do it in .NET 8, and of course we have to improve to use the existing improvement. What is the new how we do it in .NET 8. So yeah, that's it, guys. So we just try to debug and find if there's no error. I think there's a error here because oh no. So now we can go to our controller and we will try to access to create that order repository. Now this is customer. Yeah, so we just have to we're trying to use customer last time, right? So anyway, we can just add order customer here. So right click in the controller, add controller, and then empty controller, and then you just name it order controller. So this is the order controller or anything you want, but the convention is like that. So this since this is not an in with API, so this is in BC. So we just have to delete it and copy what an our order history. No, order control customer controller. So we have to put this one API controller and API controller. Okay, so just put it here. And this is the address, the API, your server name, if your localhost, the localhost API. Then what's the controller name is order. And if you want action, you can also have the action. Yeah, if you want to put the action. So action is the method name here. So like here in the customer controller, you have to pass the DB context as well. So this one is could be this this is customer repository. This is not the controller. This is a customer controller. So now you cannot we are not using the DB context, but we are just using the unit of work. So basically, just like here in the controller, you have to use that the property, and then in the constructor, you have to pass the unit of work. Unit of work interface, unit of work like that. Ins we are dependency injection, we inject that. So that's that's the another way of how you are going to use dependency injection. So what is dependency injection? It's just basically creating. So yeah, of course, in .NET 6, .NET 7, even in .NET Core, in .NET 8, dependency injection is built in. If you're in .NET, you have to use another third party like AutoFac to for you to be able to use dependency injection. So basically, guys, what is a dependency injection? You heard it a lot. Dependency injection is just a software design pattern that technique for achieving inversion of controller IOC that it's a saving between classes under dependency. So basically, it's a built-in already, as I said, and it's an object for another object. So it's an object for another object on depends on. So this one is an object which is an object of a unit or work that we define on. Yeah. So basically, this is a class also that make you use of your. So what are the problems that being addressed with dependency injection? Number one is the use of an interface or base class to abstract the dependency implementation. Registration of dependency in service container. Yeah. Injection of the service into the constructor of the class where it is used. Okay. So yeah, you can read a lot of documentation in Microsoft about that if you want to learn. So basically, this is now our what we are using is we just use the unit of work class, and that's the only class or that's the only service that we add to the container. And then throughout our web API or throughout our controller, we are just going to use it, and we can connect to our DB context that connect to our SQL Server database, and where we can query and manipulate our database. So that's how nice it is. All right, so we'll continue. Where's now order controller here? So just like here in the customer controller, we try to use this, try to add, just copy this and yeah, we have not added it here. So you have to assign is the unit of work variable is equal to the unit of work this one that we inject. Okay, so from the unit interface, then there is an implementation of that. All right, so this one is post. So since our API is controller, so that will be API controller name is order. If you want to pass like here another name, you can see create order like that. It will be another name, post create order like that. And if model state is not invalid, so bad request model state meaning there are lots of there are properties missing here. Yeah, so await unit of works. This is order, not customer, so we have to replace this. See, unit of work, we can access now the orders because this orders is being is we put this as a property of the unit of work. Yeah. Then we can just say add. What we're going to add is the this one is not customer, but this will be the order entity. This is generic, so you can see that we're using orders here. So add orders. Just like that, guys, and then we will try it if this is working. We debug from here. And fire. We're using Swaggers to test it. Now, in the next video, guys, we'll be addressing a lot there before we go to the front end. Basically, we will be using the latest front end of Angular 17. So that's exciting, guys. I have tried Angular 15. I never tried any Angular earlier version, but in my current job now, it is existing code base though. So we are just doing enhancement, new features, and most of all, production support, production issue, we have to fix it. But the front end is in Angular 10.2. So I have also exposure of the early version of Angular. So this is our customer, let's say, API, order, and create order. Try that one and try that out. So this ID is wait, automatically created identity. So we just pass this. It's just a product one or test product. Let's say if they will add to our existing database this product. So let me fire our SQL server. So while the SQL server is loading, we will create it and we can debug it. So you can see what we have passed here. If there's missing, then it will be models that will be invalid. Okay. So we debug and then we step through. So we go to the generic repository and then this is generic. So we are adding here the entity is the order, right? So we get our data here and then we just continue and they visit the add async then the entity, right? Like that. So yeah, we're done. Okay. So you can see this is 200 is successful. But I will let you see my SQL Server database. I know that record was not added. It's just added in the memory because we didn't call the word saving to the database. So here it is DB and we have the table here and then this is the order. I just select it. See, it's not created. Okay. So what missing we have? Yeah, we have to call the saving. So await unit of work that complete async. That's the method for saving. All right. So let's try again. You say that that complete async is in our unit of work. Yeah. So it's not individual in the repository pattern. So that is also good with unit of work. Because if you don't have to use unit of work, you have a saving in every repository. For example, in customer, you have a saving there. And if that orders, you have a saving there. But this one, we only define saving the unit of work. Whatever repository you will have, you eliminate that code for saving the cost, for saving to actual saving it to the database, right? So I hope you understand. Okay, so let's say here and let's try this. Product A is actually save the product A. Okay, we fire it now and we just slip through because we know that it's yeah. All right, guys, we have an error. An error while saving the entity, the inner exception for details. What's the error here, guys? So we're not able to save to DB update exception. Microsoft is what the fuck here? What happened here? Why it's not saving? So, hmm, entity DB update exception invalid object name order. So why is invalid object name order? My God, what happened? So let's try to debug, guys. Invalid object name order. So this one you need to go complete async. The implementation here is dbconfig that saves in just async. So now, what the fuck is here? There's already a repository order. And then dbcontext is here. The implementation of the order. Let me add this is wrong. We just have to do this one. What's new? We try to do like this, guys. This lambda expression here, and then we have to new the implementation of our repository order is order repository. What's the implementation? Yeah, order repository. Order repository. Uh, now we have to pass the daily context here. Let's try if it looks like this. Yeah, this one. This so that later. What is this? Yeah, just like that. When you put it in a constructor. I think this is the problem. So let's try. So you can see in our database this now recording. Yes, obviously because we have an error on that. Let's just try that one. Let's just go to the setting. It's adding to the ABC. Now it's saving. Let's see what's the error. Oh, we still have an error. Inner exception. Inner exception already traced. Using it run, it's called that. It's part of debugging, guys. Inner exception. Invalid object name order. Invalid object name orders. Object name orders. Why is it invalid? Invalid object name order. This is the issue. What is our database here? It's orders. I think that's the problem because it's orders and this is order. So why is order? Invalid object name. This is on orders. Orders. Orders 9. This is our generic repository. My repository is here. The order repository. Customer repository. This is wrong customer repository. We are not actually using it. We should create a world. Let's try to make this as public. Maybe it's not being suitable analysis in the other class. It's only applicable in that class. But that's my case. We'll find out it here. This material. This entity is already added. You can see this order. That's already part of me. This one no error. You only have error in the context. Save as sync. Start model. Yeah, it's still the same. What happened here? Error output. Invalid object name order. Oh my god, let's try the customer, guys. Okay, now let's try the customer first. Uh, customer repository. So we delete everything here. It's the life of developer, guys. And this one, customer story, well, that's wrong. We just inherit that from the generic repository. And we passed it the entity customer. And we also inherit, this is the multiple inheritance guy. Repository customers. I repository customer like so our repository customer has no specific signature. So we only have to what is this? Yeah, we have to pass the DB context here, just like this. something. This is customer. That all right. So you go to our customer controller. We have customer here. And to work on, and then you just have to see. You need to work. Um, customer config. This is why config is not accessible. We didn't have it. You need to work complete lang. We just think why is it going to, and this will be awaited. Yeah, I'm going to the customer. It's not part of there. So try this out. See our customers guy. We already have data here. Yeah, we have two data. We just customer. Yeah, customer. So, um, service. The method of operation is not implemented. Ah, yeah, we are not able to implement it in the repository. No, in the unit overall here. So this one is not being implemented. So we need to implement this customer repository, and we are passing the DB context like that. And this is new. Yeah. So, okay. If you want to have these guys, you can have a model that is for displaying like that, so you can actually do it faster when you have automapper. Use automapper. So we are now adding. This is I'll put the customer. And in the ad itself, cannot create a database state for customer because its type is not included in the model. Customer because its type is not included in the model for the context. What I having lots of error, guys. Cannot create a DB set for customer because this type is not included in the model for the context. The model, the context. Can it public? Hmm, we are missing here, guys. So, oh, it's already here. The unit of work, we already inject here, DB context, and we assign the context equals DB context. Why it's still up here? Public. This is already the problem here, guys. So, customer, the entity that we pass is order. Why? Let's try this again. That's the issue. This, this. Yeah, it's working. Oh, yeah, you got now 200 success. So we can add now the customer, guys. So the problem is the renaming, and it rename everything instead of in our DB context here, DB set is all orders to customers. Yeah, but I also changed how I implement it, guys. So here in the unit of work, what's my changes? I just Did you see what I changed? Yeah, let's try generic this one. So this delete that was integer, but we need to pass that as generic like that. And then in the generic repository, if you see my previous video, I've declared the DB set it here, but that will go, but I just put it here. Think we can just leave set, we just have it here. Although you can do as earlier that you put a variable there and you use the variable there. It's just the same. Okay, so our customer adding is now working. And let's try the repository order because it's not working earlier. So where's our order controller? This one. There's that. And the order repository. This one. This is okay already. This one. This is not the context. This is DB context. This one. So where is coming from? It's in our generic repository. This one. This is the DB context that we need to pass from there. Okay, we'll try it here. You can add in the orders. Earlier we got the, no. Let's see, this is my order. This represent one. Oh, it's working, guys. So yeah, we got 200. And it will take a look in our orders table. We should have records here already. Yeah, we have already a record. Ah. So that's only the issue, guys, or entity. It's not set properly. That's cause the problem. And also this one earlier, if you see this is DB context, it was not passed in the repository name. This is why we put it public, so it will be acceptable in our repository here, like here. So earlier we just named it DB context, but it's coming from. So that is why it cannot connect to our database, and that's where you're having issue or having problem, right? So that I see, guys. So for example, in our controller, this one, we have to query. So just basically, you just have to put here HTTP git. This is how you are going to get HTTP git. Let's say, for example, this is, of course, this will be asynchronous and task. No, no, this is, you have to create a method here of async method and of task I action result.